Marriage is beautiful and it is the only perfect institution God created and then put to imperfect people to actually work on themselves and become perfect. Welcome to Empathic Connect YouTube channel. I've had a lot of people ask me questions on what do couples actually fight about? How do you see couples in love and then the next year or two you hear them say they are no longer in love with each other? Yes, if you're married, you are single, you are engaged, or you're just curious about what the marriage institution entails, then hold on. This video is for you because trust me, I'm going to be talking about 15. If it's not more than that, but at least it should be close to 15 because I jotted them down. Unspoken truths that couples discover in lived experiences. Yes, this truth, I'm married for 5 years and I have a lot of friends around that have married. I have my parents still married and glory to God. And I also have my spiritual mentors, that are still married and have gone ahead. So why thinking when I get questions from singles or my friends that are yet to be married, or even those that are just growing up, out of curiosity, they ask me and be like, okay, what exactly it is? What are the truths that we need to know about marriage? Then I sat down, wrote out some things, and then jotted it on my phone. So I thought, let me share it on YouTube so it can actually get to a lot of people that are curious or that wants to know more about marriage. And to begin with, the first one I'll be talking about is love doesn't sustain itself. Yes, marriage is an institution of love. Of course, love brought us together. The first thing is I love that man. That woman I can't do without him. Of course, I want to make you my wife. I want to do this. But I want you to know that when you get into marriage, you will actually know that it takes intentionality, it takes dedication, it takes being kind, it takes having an empathy towards your partner. And of course, when people tell you that love keeps a home, I will tell you that you won't always feel in love in marriage, but you have to choose to love this person, this only person that you've called your own. It means you have to choose them always over and over again. And the next unspoken truth, and if you want to ask me, okay, before I move to the next one, if you are thinking that love is enough now, okay, I said we all I wrote this out based on lived experiences, and you can ask people ahead, or I'll just send a message, yes, so that we can talk and then I can share a little experiences as to what I said about love is not enough, commitment is. Yeah, I wrote love doesn't sustain itself. Effort does. That's the first thing. Effort. So it takes a lot of effort in marriage. Then the second unspoken truth is you will change and so will your partner. Trust me, that change. I remember when I was in relationship with my husband. I've always been with the thought of, oh, I'm going to increase in weight and then my tummy is going to grow big. Because looking at my siblings, I know that definitely some things change about them the moment they start giving birth. So I'm always with the fear that I hope if I start increasing in weight or this, you won't stop loving me. And you will look at me and be like, what has your weight got to do with me loving you? Okay, so uh, I'm just talking about the physical change now. And here I wrote, people evolve. The person you marry won't remain the same forever. Trust me. Marriage is learning how to fall in love with each version of them. The truth is you might marry the person at, let's say, like 23, 24, and by the time they get to 30 or 30 above 35, you will see a lot of changes about them. There will be physical change, even mentally there will be maturity. Let's assume those that got married at the very tender age, what they are exposed to then, it will be different. So expect change from your partner and expect change from yourself too. But in your change, this is where couples get it wrong. In your change, ensure that it is still like you are being considerate. Yes, Is that what correct? Yet you are considering your partner even as you are evolving. Yes, because you two have become one. So don't get it twisted. A lot of people get it wrong the moment they evolve alone, yes, and then leave their partner behind. And so when they now get to the peak of their career or the peak of their evolvement, they find out that the person they are journeying with, they stop journeying with them. Then they are not on the same level again. That's when you will see a husband telling the wife that, oh, I can't take you out again, or probably you have to stay back home, or if you need his help about the project, they can't help you again. Probably they just evolve. Some evolved when it comes to fashion. Yes, and it's expected. You are not expecting them not to evolve when it comes to fashion. Someone that is fashionable, but at that moment, even our generations, don't let me dwell too much on it. But these are the unspoken truths that people find hard to accept in marriage, and then it tears couples apart. That's it. Take note of it if you are engaged. If you're married and you feel like, okay, so does that mean they should leave you or anything? You can drop a comment in the comment section, and definitely I'm going to talk about it. The next point, which is point number two, happy, is it three now? Is I wrote down here, I said, sex won't always be spontaneous or frequent. Sex won't always be spontaneous or frequent. A lot of singles, or should I say engaged, yes, engaged to be married couples that I see out there. And all they do is when they see each other, they just start having sex and this. And that's why I'm always, even the Bible is against premarital sex. Trust me, Bible is against premarital sex. So when all your relationship is about is sex, definitely you're going to have a problem in marriage because I said life, stress, kids, aging, all of these they affect intimacy. I mean, they affect intimacy. So, sex is a major problem that actually cause couples to stay apart, that destroy homes. And that's when you will see a husband running outside and trying to look for where else to get pleasure. And most especially, the stage where a woman gives birth, or should I even say pregnancy stage. When you get pregnant, I'm not trying to scare you, there, young lady, but there are a lot of things. Some people have this increase in sexual urges, while some their libido is just so low. So at that point, it takes an understanding partner to actually sail with you through those periods. This pregnancy stage and even postpartum stage has actually destroyed homes a lot. It has destroyed homes a lot. For instance, I'm going to use myself as an example. Getting married was there was no, we didn't really get the intimacy part. I mean sexual intimacy not until our third month before we could actually enjoy it. And guess what? Pregnancy came in immediately. So how do we navigate those periods, or how did we navigate those periods? It's not for the YouTube video, of course not. But thank God that we built friendship over time. So it wasn't enough to break the home. It tried, but it wasn't enough to break the home. So sexual intimacy will not be spontaneous, most especially even when children comes in. When it's just one child, it seems so fun. And if you are doing all of this without help, there will all, let's even assume financial constraint, you are not financially buoyant, all those things would actually reduce the zeal, the desire, the urges for sex. So at this point, the couples should develop what they call friendship, should develop, prayerful skills, communication, enjoy themselves outside having, sex, or it's, sex, a lot of things leads to sex anyway. Not necessarily there is a copulation. You can actually have a romance instead of having sex directly. Then the next point I wrote here is silent expectation. Silent expectation causes loud disappointment. Trust me. Silent expectations. Yeah, I wrote the most frustration in marriage comes from expectations that were never communicated. Assuming your partner should know we ought more than it helps. Yes, I had this problem, and I've met with a lot of people that They are just expecting a lot of things from their partner. Not and this has broken homes because you are thinking, of course they should know what I want. Of course you should know that I need to eat. But what if she does not even know that you are hungry? Yes. So these are the unspoken truth about marriage that destroy homes and that can actually help to build home. Go and meet our parents or those that have stayed longer in marriage and ask them questions about how they survived the journey. They would actually tell you that silent expectations, it destroys home more than it actually builds home. So when you expect something of your partner, if you are planning to get married or you are married already, if you have an expectation, learn how to communicate before you get married. And communicate, I mean, soft spoken words, not like you communicate aggressively or you communicate to them as if you are talking to a child. No, you have to keep in mind that they are now your partner. He or she is now your helpmate, they're now one with you. Not like you just communicate your expectation. You must learn how to communicate. That's just it. In marriage, learn how to communicate. Learn how to communicate your expectation, how you want it, what you want, how just be expressive. Those are the spoken truth, and those are one of the things that destroys Then I wrote here again, forgiveness. Forgiveness. Forgiveness should be a regular practice. See, if you're not ready, if you're not a forgiving person, don't get married. Or okay, I can just assume that God wants to teach you forgiveness, and that's why He wants you to get married. You will see a lot of people that have so much bad habits, and they are getting married compared to someone that is well behaved. They forgive easily, they do this, and yet God is still taking them through the single old stage. I don't know if you have an idea of what I'm saying. And you will see people that they can keep malice, their heart is so hardened, like, and God will bring them and help me. And trust me, it is through that help me that they will learn forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness is a regular practice. It should be a regular practice. You will hurt each other, not necessarily or intentionally, but it will happen. Without a act of grace and humility, resentment will build. So, when we want to get married, there's just this ebara kale. Also, if you want to bar okwe kale or you want to bar aya kale, I think this is where I'm going to stop for. I'm going to do another video on this and then post it. So if you think you are so forgiving, wait till you get married. Or if you think you are so hardened, like I was saying, I said God would actually take some people through those stages in order for them to learn the habit of forgiveness, in order for them to have a soft heart towards people and be able to let go of offenses, please. Forgiveness is key in marriage because even sometimes you might hold a grudge or your spouse might offend you and they won't even know. So you should be able to forgive them before they even apologize at all, before you even communicate your hurt to them. Because there is this way that in marriage we tend to feel like um when I tell him he should apologize, most times if you have a husband that at that moment that you are actually expressing your hurt, they are also hurt, they won't say sorry. Yes, you're looking at why would you say so? I would you don't want to destroy your home that you are building with love. And of course when you have children, you don't want to start screaming, even if you don't have children. I would always advise couple to start with a home that has, I mean, yes, to be a tenant in a home before moving to their own apartment. Because if you are the only one in that compound, it will actually like boost your ego and everything to keep shouting in the home. Yes, true. But if you have neighbors, yes, if you are living in a rented apartment and you know that you have neighbors opposite you or behind or before you, anyhow, you trust me, you don't want to shout. How do you even want to do it? Like, are you going to be screaming and they will start, I mean, they will come over and knock your door and ask what happened? And and on the long run, by the time you check, you will notice that what you're actually shouting about is something that can be resolved amicably if at all you've learned forgiveness with or without their apologies. So that is how to actually survive in your home. And all these minor offenses, learn to overlook them. Yes, that's one of the things. Learn to overlook them. Look for things that can actually take those thoughts away from your heart, and then you will be fine. So I still feel like I can move on. Yes. Yes, let's move to the next one, which is in marriage. Unspoken truth is conflict is not the problem, but disrespect is. A lot of us got married, everyone, before I got married, I felt that, or I knew, I had this conviction that my husband respect me and he knows I respect him. I owe this word to tell. But when we get married and we start seeing each other every now and then, you are appearing in my faces, you start fighting. Disrespect is the problem. It's not even the conflict that you have. Because later, when the whole conflict is settled, you will notice that you've spoken words that were not meant to be. You've reacted, you've disrespected them. And here I said, every couple fight. What matter is how you fight. Attacking the problem, not the person, and knowing when to pause are crucial. So you should ensure that in homes, don't disrespect your partner, because of course the conflict will be over, but the what you say, the actions you put forward, the way you speak, how you handle the whole thing would actually hurt them thereafter. And to me, or for me, I just believe that these are the things that actually destroy homes, that breaks people apart, that breaks art. And they are just the unspoken truth. These are the things that, if you know you're getting married soon, work on yourself, work on these things, come back to this video over and over again, write them down, pray on them, ruminate about it, talk to your partner about it. And if need be, you can also see a counselor. And let me give you something. When you go to see a counselor, ensure that you do more of listening than talking. Don't say, if they ask you, did he loves you? Let him answer for himself. Don't be the mouthpiece, the one that gives all the answers, because there is more profit in listening than in speaking all the time. So I'm going to put a close to it here, and then I'm going to continue. I still have about 5 more or 7 more to give to you about the unspoken truth about marriage. So if you enjoyed this video, just give it a thumbs up, share and drop a comment, and then you will see the next video soon. Do ensure to take care of yourself. And I love you. Bye.